On Saturday, August 31st at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis Tigers host the Ole Miss Rebels straight out of the SEC in what figures to be a delightful matchup between two high-octane offenses. You know what we do here on this show. Let's break it down. Now you know good and well no Group of 5 team is gonna mess with a Power 5 team, right? Unless your name is UCF, and that doesn't appear to be the case here. This is a Memphis team that's now without Darrell Henderson, who went in the 3rd round to the Los Angeles Rams. After having 1,909 yards off of 214 carries for 8.9 yards per carry and 22 touchdowns. Now if he were still at Memphis, I'd have to be worried about that, but he's not, and since he's not, I think we win this one no doubt. Now wait a minute, the guy filling his shoes wasn't too shabby in 2018. Patrick Taylor had 1,122 yards and 16 touchdowns of his own. And the guy who is orchestrating the offense, Brady White, will be so efficient by the air and through the air raid that Taylor will easily see some holes that he'll like. Brady went 246 for 392 in 2018 with a 62.8% completion percentage. He threw for 3,296 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Now you were right about one thing. I've seen that Ole Miss defense. And well, they can't stop a soul in that secondary, and definitely not against that kind of efficiency. Then there's the task of actually being able to guard the guy he's going to be primarily throwing to, Damonte Coxie, the best wide receiver in the American Athletic Conference, and a guy who in 2018 joined the ranks of Anthony Miller and Isaac Bruce as Memphis's 1,000-yard season receivers in program history. And when he's not getting the ball, it will be tight end Joey Magnifico hauling in the rock. He averaged 17.3 yards per reception last season and really knows how to catch it in traffic. Against an Ole Miss defense that gave up 31 points or more in its last 6 competitions and who gave up 41 to Southern Illinois. All of this sounds like easy street when you're talking about Memphis being able to drive the ball down the field and put points on the scoreboard virtually every possession. That's all last year, bro. This year we're looking to go more towards a 3-4 defense to help defend better against the spread and fast offenses. Junior linebacker Mohamed Sanogo led the team in tackles with 112 in 2018. That's pretty astonishing, and it basically means that running around him will be a no-go. Get it? Got it? Good. Next to him will be Mr. Shepard, who had 10 tackles for loss in 2018. Again, I don't care about Memphis's backup this season. Without Darrell Henderson, ain't nothing gonna get done on the ground against those guys. This isn't the American Athletic Conference. These boys in the SEC are big and strong and get to the ball. And Memphis is gonna find that out fast. Now we do have a lot of work to do on that side of the ball. I can't admit that. But with our offense as good as it is, I think we're gonna put up more than we give up. Wide receiver Scotty Phillips returns with all SEC potential written all over him, almost achieving 1,000 yards last season, bringing in the rock. Opposite him will be Elijah Moore, who had 36 receptions last season for 398 yards in limited time. Now those are some great numbers when you consider who was in front of him on the depth chart in 2018. Now, can I let you in on a secret? We're gonna miss those guys, but it's on Phillips and Moore to make sure that it stings a little bit less in 2019 without them. And speaking of losses, I know you're going to go ahead and bring up the fact that Jordan Taamu is gone, but I figured I'd just go ahead and beat you to the punch and not give you that satisfaction. Besides, when you bring it up, you won't even know what you're talking about. Little do you know, there's no issue there as well. In his place will be a 4-star recruit in the class of 2018, the number 63 overall player, and number 4 pro-style quarterback in that class, Matt Corral. You want to talk about touch and accuracy? This guy has those attributes in spades. He's going to absolutely torch Memphis's back end of their defense, and I can't wait to watch it. That's assuming he has time to get rid of the ball, buddy. We're returning 3 of our 4 starting defensive linemen last season, and you're returning 2 of your starting offensive linemen. That's advantage to us up front in a huge way, which is crucial because we do only return 2 secondary players from our defense last season. I'm not really buying into the hype that you're giving these young receivers, and I'm not so into this newbie at quarterback that you have either. They're all young and unproven, and they're not Shea Patterson or Van Jefferson. Face it, your glory days are all over, and you have Hugh Freeze, your hire, to blame for it. All that talent and more guys that I didn't even mention, all wasted. And you know who else won't be in the lineup come August 31st? 5 of your secondary players who played significant time last season. That's a lot. All of those guys gone off of a secondary that was already really terrible. Now, if those guys were the main contributors on that side of the ball last season, I can't wait to see what we're up against in 2019. To even imagine a secondary worse than what I saw last year is almost unfathomable. but I'll be happy to see it at your demise. And so will Tony Pollard, who plays both running back and wide receiver for us. In 2018, he rushed the ball 78 times for 552 yards, 7.1 yards per carry, and 6 touchdowns. By air, he had 39 receptions for 458 yards and 3 touchdowns. I look for him to do a lot of work in game 1 of the season here in 2019 in front of his home crowd. All in all, I can genuinely say that when an SEC team comes into our home field trying to take us down, I would normally be amped, ready to go, and have a chip on my shoulder. But this isn't Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida, or Auburn. Heck, this isn't even Texas A&M, South Carolina, or Mississippi State. This is Ole Miss, a team that was 1-7 in the SEC last season and 5-7 overall. We'll send you guys packing the same way that 87.5% of the teams in your conference did in 2018, and Memphis will win in a rout. Go Tigers. As if 8-5 in the American Athletic Conference is some kind of accomplishment. With what you just said, you saw that we were 4-0 out of conference last season, didn't you? With a win over Texas Tech in 2018 as well. Now, we may not have had our best year, but we sure did take care of business against teams not in the best conference in all of football. Like I said, inferior conferences, and especially group of 5 conferences, can't muscle up. And just like how you lost 56-41 in your conference championship game last year against UCF, and 37-34 in the Birmingham Bowl against Wake Forest, you're gonna find out that teams not named Mercer, Georgia State, and South Alabama are more than you bargained for. It is an honor, I'm sure, to bring in an SEC team to your home field, but it will be our honor to whoop that tail in front of all the loyal fans who support you. Ole Miss comfortably. Woo! I know we're on Lego on Fuego show because that just got heated. With all that wrapped up and complete, what do you guys think? Who do you think takes this one? Make sure you comment below and include a score. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right here for the most creative and entertaining college football content all season long. I'm bringing the flavor to you nonstop, and I'm doubling up when the season begins. Like this video if you liked it. If you didn't, head on over to Volunteer Roadshow's channel. That's my buddy. He's got better material than me. Let him know Lego on Fuego sent you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.